I request Shri P.S. Shrikanta Datta, our President, Laghu Udyog Bharati, to kindly escort Shri Pratap Chandra Sarangi ji, Honorable Minister of State, onto the dais, please. Yes. I invite Mr. Prasanna, Secretary General, to kindly escort Shri Jagadish Shettar, Honorable Minister for Medium and Heavy Industries, Government of Karnataka, onto the stage, please. I request Mr. Lakshmisha, Joint General Secretary, LUBK, to kindly escort Shri Kalakappa G. Bandi, Honorable Member of Legislative Assembly and Chairman, KSSIDC Limited, onto the dais.
ಹರೇ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ. ರಾಮ ರಾಮ ಎಂಬೆರಡಕ್ಷರ ಪ್ರೇಮದಿ ಸಲುಹಿತು ಸುಜನರನು. ರಾಮ ರಾಮ ಎಂಬೆರಡಕ್ಷರ ಪ್ರೇಮದಿ ಸಲುಹಿತು ಸುಜನರನು. ಹಾಲಾಹಲವನ್ನು ಪಾನವ ಮಾಡಿ ಲೋಲ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಣನೇ ಬಲ್ಲವನು. ಹಾಲಾಹಲವನ್ನು ಪಾನವ ಮಾಡಿದ ಬಾಲಲೋಚನನೇ ಬಲ್ಲವನು. ಆಲಾಪಿಸುತ್ತ ಸಿಲೆಯಾಗಿದ್ದ ಬಾಲೆಯಹಲೆಯ ಕೇಳೇನು. ಬಾಲೆಯಹಲೆಯ ಕೇಳೇನು. ರಾಮ ರಾಮ ಎಂಬೆರಡಕ್ಷರ ಪ್ರೇಮದಿ ಸಲುಹಿತು ಸುಜನರನು. ಅಂಜಿಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಗಿರಿ ಸಾರಿದ ಕಪಿ ಕುಂಜರ ರವಿಸೂತ ಬಲ್ಲವನು. ಎಂಜಲ ಫಲಗಳ ಹರಿಗರ್ಪಿಸಿದ ಕಂಜಲೋಚನೆಯ ಕೇಳೇನು. ಕಂಜಲೋಚನೆಯ ಕೇಳೇನು. ರಾಮ ರಾಮ ಎಂಬೆರಡಕ್ಷರ ಪ್ರೇಮದಿ ಸಲುಹಿತು ಸುಜನರನು. ಕಾಲವನರಿತು ಸೇವೆಯ ಮಾಡಿದ ಲೋಲ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಣನೇ ಬಲ್ಲವನು. ಕಾಲವನರಿತು ಸೇವೆಯ ಮಾಡಿದ ಲೋಲ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಣನೇ ಬಲ್ಲವನು. ವ್ಯಾಳ್ಯ ಶಯನ ಶ್ರೀ ವಿಜಯ ವಿಠಲನ. ವ್ಯಾಳ್ಯ ಶಯನ ಶ್ರೀ ವಿಜಯ ವಿಠಲನ ಲೀಲೇಶರದಿಯ ಕೇಳೇನು. ಲೀಲೇಶರದಿಯ ಕೇಳೇನು. ರಾಮ ರಾಮ ಎಂಬೆರಡಕ್ಷರ ಪ್ರೇಮದಿ ಸಲುಹಿತು ಸುಜನರನು. ಪ್ರೇಮದಿ ಸಲುಹಿತು ಸುಜನರನು. ಪ್ರೇಮದಿ ಸಲುಹಿತು ಸುಜನರನು. ಹರೇ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ.
Thank you, Mr. Girish, for initiating the program. May I now request all the dignitaries to kindly move on to the front stage to light the lamp.
ಸರ್, ಒಂಚೂರು ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್ ನೀವು.
call upon Shri P.S. Shrikanta Datta, President, Laghu Udyog Bharati, to kindly deliver the welcome address, please.
Namaskar. Good evening to all of you. Respected Honorable Minister of State for MSMEs, Shri Pratap Chandra Sarangi, our Honorable Minister for LMI, Shri Jagdish Shetterji, Shri Kalakappa Bandi, Chairman KSSIDC, Shri Ram Prasad, Managing Director KSSIDC, Shri Ravi Kumar, all the distinguished guests who have come here. It is my profound privilege to welcome all of you for this evening program on role and significance of MSMEs in the mission of Atmanirbhar Bharat. MSMEs are making significant contributions to the growth of Indian economy. As we all know, they are one of the largest providers of employment, and Laghu Udyog Bharati has been working for the betterment and improvement of MSMEs over the last 27 years. Therefore, it is appropriate for me to take a few minutes of yours to brief the Honorable Minister about the activities of Laghu Udyog Bharati. Laghu Udyog Bharati was established in the year 1993 with a handful of entrepreneurs at Nagpur. And over the last 27 years, LUB has grown in stature to be recognized as one of the most credible and respected industry associations in the country, representing the small-scale industries. We have an all-India presence. We have more than 27,000 members spread across nearly 400 districts of the country. Laghu Udyog Bharati Karnataka is headquartered in Bangalore. We have many members drawn from many districts across the state. We also have branches in the state of Karnataka and are working closely for the development of MSMEs in the state. So with this, I would just like to brief about what do we do at Laghu Udyog Bharati. Laghu Udyog Bharati is very well represented in many of the industry forums coming under the state and central governments. So we use these opportunities to engage with the government and bring out policies that are conducive to the growth and development of MSMEs. Not only that, we conduct many awareness programs to create awareness about the various initiatives of Government of India and Government of State. We have in the past conducted so many programs on GST, on wage code, on the new initiatives of financing under the COVID-19 schemes and all. And this is about the policy promotion and all. For the existing industries, we conduct a large number of programs which are aimed at helping the MSMEs. We conduct programs on lean manufacturing, cost efficiency, energy efficiency, digital marketing, and many other activities. In fact, all our seminars and conferences have been very well received and appreciated, and our members have expressed their happiness, and many of them have been benefited by them. Marketing and business development is another key area for MSMEs. Marketing and technology outsourcing is a very key area for the success of MSMEs. We conduct a lot of market promotion activities for MSMEs. We conduct many vendor development activities. We have a very active B2B portal. And we also conduct India Manufacturing Show, which is a very special platform wherein all the large industries and small industries converge at one platform, exchange their business ideas. And alongside the India Manufacturing Show activity, we also hold parallel seminars which are very helpful to the MSMEs. We have done about 4 editions at Bangalore BIAC International Exhibition Center. The 5th edition of IMS was supposed to be held this year, but due to the COVID pandemic, we had to defer it, and we will probably be holding it next year once the COVID is out of the country. For startups and new initiatives, we have created a platform under LUB called Tech Bharat. This is a very good initiative of Laghu Udyog Bharati. And the first edition of Tech Bharat was held in the year January 20 last year, wherein about 40 startup entrepreneurs had participated. There were about 400 exhibitors and more than 650 delegates. In fact, in one platform, it was a pan-India event. In one platform, we could bring in many of the startups, the venture capitalists, and the serial entrepreneurs. And we could identify about 10 startups and handhold them and reward them also. and many of them are on the path of very good progress actually. And the focus last year was on doing business with government. This year, we are planning to have another Tech Bharat edition. Already the pre-events have happened, and the main event is going to happen sometime in the month of April or so. And the focus for this area will be on education and healthcare. And we expect this to be a much bigger and broader event. Women entrepreneurship is one of our key areas. We have a large number of women entrepreneurs who are enrolled as our members. More than 25% of our members are women entrepreneurs. And we conduct special tailor-made programs aimed at helping the women entrepreneurs like financial literacy, then creating some market development activities for them. And our women entrepreneurs have created a special platform called Kusuri Mane, where they encourage rural women entrepreneurs to come and exhibit their products under one live platform. And this is giving them a very good opportunity. Most of the rural women entrepreneur products from food processing, art, and all are exhibited here. And we also conduct many festive melas, and many of our women entrepreneurs have reached to the rural areas, and then they provide all the logistics, they provide the accommodation, bring rural women entrepreneurs from remote places and help them to market their product. We are also having an active B2B portal on that. Utpadana Samuh is another initiative of Laghu Udyog Bharati. This is headed by our national team. All the presidents and secretaries of all the states are a part of that. And we have been assigned with the task of identifying specific products which has a very large import content so that we can create some import substitutes. We have already been working on that, and we have identified a couple of products, and we are going to come up with the cluster initiatives at Hubli and North Karnataka part. Gram Shilpi Prakoshta is one of our proud activities, I would say. India, as we all know, is a home to the traditional arts. It is very well renowned, and Karnataka has many such products ranging from toys, pottery, then the brass articles and all. But unfortunately, many of these traditional skills, which are preserved and promoted for generations, are finding it difficult to sustain and market their product due to the competitiveness and urbanization. So we have a special focus on them, and we have taken up some clusters. We have identified one remote village in North Karnataka called Kinnal, where about 50-60 families are engaged in carving out very artistic handmade toys. And we have done a sort of a diagnostic study on them, and we are going to provide all the assistance. In fact, during our interactions, they have told us that they have difficulties in sourcing wood, they have difficulties in creating, in having the testing facilities and all. So we have taken up the initiative and discussed this with the Principal Conservator of Forest. We have also engaged the services of Indian Institute of Wood Sciences and Technology. So they are going there, they are giving them all the technical inputs and supports also, and we are trying to create common facilities. We have also associated with the Indian Institute of Science, who have come forward in a big way to help these artisans, and we are working with them. Our Director of Center of Excellence, Sri S.M. Jemkandi, is here. He is also participating in this seminar. Other than that, we also have a very active industry institution interface. We have signed up a lot of memorandum with many colleges and ITIs, where we conduct a lot of entrepreneurial development programs. We reach out to the students, encourage them to take up self-employment. And here, actually, we have tied up with the Center of Excellence at Indian Institute of Science. We are also talking to CFTRI and DFRL, where they have large projects which can be put into commercial produce. And we are associated and working with them, actually. While these are some of our focus areas, we are also quite, concerned about the problems faced by MSMEs. So MSMEs are very important to the growth of Indian economy, as I said earlier. And right now we are passing through very hardships. The spiraling increase in prices, particularly steel, metal, and others, is a big burden to us. The high interest rates, and then the delays in getting some approvals. All these things are causing severe hardships to the entrepreneurs. So we would request our Honorable Minister of State for MSMEs to look into some of these issues, and later we will be submitting a comprehensive memorandum, which we are sure our Honorable Minister will look into that and address the issues. And under these difficult circumstances, the MSMEs are also looking at a way forward and how we can participate and benefit ourselves from the Honorable Prime Minister's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. And that is the reason we have now started this program on how MSMEs can benefit and involve and benefit from the Atmanirbhar schemes. We would like to have a series of programs across all the districts and state, and this is the beginning actually. We would look forward to the help and guidance from our Honorable LMI Minister also to have a sort of outreach programs across every district also, sir. And we are really delighted and pleased to have we are really delighted, blessed to have the presence of Honorable Minister of State, Shri Pratap Chandra Sarangi. This is his first visit, and during his first visit itself, he expressed his willingness to meet all the MSME associations and Laghu Udyog Bharati members, discuss and take up the issues one by one. So we are very glad with your presence, sir, and we extend a very respectful welcome to you for this program. We also have our Honorable Minister for Large Medium Industries, Shri Jagdish Shettar ji here. Our LMI Minister, Shri Jagdish Shettar, has been very proactive and very responsive to the needs and calls of industry associations. And ever since he took charge as the industry minister, he has been putting tireless efforts to put the state on the #1 map of the country actually. And he has taken many initiatives, launched many new schemes, and just yesterday he has launched a very user-friendly new industrial policy. I'm sure he is going to talk to us about it. We compliment and thank you, sir, for the new industrial policy. We welcome you here for this meeting, sir. We are also pleased that the chairman of KSSIDC, Honorable Member of Legislative Assembly, Shri Kalakappa Bandi is here with us. We extend a very warm welcome to the chairman and MLA Shri Kalakappa Bandi. KSSIDC has been playing an active role in the growth and development of MSMEs, and we have with us today the Managing Director of KSSIDC amongst us, and we extend a very warm welcome to Shri Ram Prasad, the Managing Director of KSSIDC. NSIC has been supporting us from the beginning for all our initiatives. Our Chief Zonal Manager, Shri Ravi Kumar, is here representing NSIC. I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. We are also happy to see the presence of senior government officials. I extend a very warm welcome to the senior bureaucrats from Karnataka Udyog Mitra, from KSSIDC, from the Department of MSE Media, and we have our board member from KSPCB also helping us out on pollution-related matters. I extend a very warm welcome to all of them. And we also have a lot of industry association representatives here. We also have a lot of industry associations here, and due to the COVID pandemic, we have restricted the numbers to very small number here. And we have the presidents of FKCCI is here, Shri Perikal Sundar. I extend a very warm welcome to him. He is here with all his colleague office bearers also. Welcome you, sir. Karnataka Small Scale Industries Association has been in the forefront, taking up the issues concerning MSMEs. Shri KB Arsappa, President Kasia is here. Very warm welcome to you, sir. I also welcome the Pinia Industries Association office bearers and president here. That's another good industry body which has been working for the benefit of MSMEs. I welcome them. We also have the President of Vasant Narsapura Industry Association, Shri Shiv Shankar. Welcome you, sir. We have the chairperson from Awake, from Emerge, and many other industry associations. FICCI is also represented. FISME is represented by Shri Mohan Suresh. And Dr. Krasta is here, past president of ASSOCHAM, and FCASIA, and council member of ASSOCHAM is here. So I extend a warm welcome to all of you, because if I start taking name, I will have to read out every name here, sir. So all the industry leaders are here. I extend a warm welcome to all of them. And most importantly, I must recognize and place on record the guidance that we have been receiving from time to time from our Margadarshak Shri Tippeswamy. He is here with us, and it is because of his guidance, his efforts, Laghu Udyog Bharati is taking a lot of efforts. Sir, welcome you, sir, for this evening program, sir. We have representatives from SIDBI, from NSIC, from Union Bank of India. Shri Srinivas Rao, the general manager, is here. He has just joined us on stage. Welcome you, sir, for that. And we also have from Technology Center. Could you please, DGM is here. Welcome you, sir, for that. Finally, I welcome all the members of Laghu Udyog Bharati, our women entrepreneurs here, and representatives from press, media. Shri Jamkandi of Center of Excellence IISc is here. So welcome all of you, and let's go ahead with the program, sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir, for listing out various activities of Laghu Udyog Bharati, which has been involved in promoting business in the state. We'll go to the felicitation program now. Can I request Shri P.S. Srikanta Datta, President Laghu Udyog Bharati, to kindly honor Shri Pratap Chandra Sarangi ji. So we have a small woman entrepreneurs designed handmade product to you, sir. So this is a handmade product from Grama Shilpi Prakosta. Can I request Shri Suresh Mohan to kindly come onto the stage to honor Shri Jagadish Shetty, sir. I call upon His Excellency Consul for Republic of Mali in Bangalore, Shri H.V.S. Krishna, to kindly honor Shri Kalakappa G. Bandi, Honorable Member of Legislative Assembly and Chairman KSSIDC. I request Shri B.S. Srinivasan, our Vice President LUVK, to honor Dr. Ram Prasad Manohar, MD KSSIDC, please. I request Shri Niranjan Kumar, TV Treasurer LUBK, to honor Ravi Kumar, CGM, NSIC. I call upon Shri Lakshmi Shah, Joint General Secretary, to kindly honor Shri B. Srinivasa Rao, Field General Manager, Union Bank of India. Honorable Minister for Medium and Heavy Industries, Government of Karnataka, to kindly deliver the presidential address.
And before the Honorable Minister speaks, I just forgot my apologies. I must recognize the presence of Shri Dattatri, the Vice Chairman of KSSIDC. Sorry, sir, I forgot your name. And you have been very supportive of all of our efforts through KSIDC. I must also recognize the presence of the Honorary Councils. Honorary Council of Rwanda, Sri Mohan Suresh is here. He has taken a lot of initiatives to organize this program. Honorary Council of Republic of Czech, Mr. Pushpak Prakash, member of Choir Board, is also here. And our own Honorary Council for Republic of Mali, Sri HVS Krishna, is here. And some more are expected who will be joining a little later. I extend a warm welcome to all of them.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Good evening. Honorable Union Minister of State for MSME, Sri Pratap Chandra Sarangi, and Srikant Datta, President Lagu Udyog Bharati, K. Narayan Prasann, General Secretary, Lagu Udyog Bharati, V.M. Girdhar, Chief General Manager, Canara Bank, MD and Chairman, KSIDC, Sri Kalkappa Bandi, MD, KSIDC, and our Sangha Parivar senior person, Tipe Swamiji, Dattatri, and other dignitaries, brothers and sisters present here, my media friends. It is my privilege to be among you all and discuss the role and significance of MSME in the mission of Atmanirbhar Bharata. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. As we all know, MSMEs are the pillars for developing a robust industrial ecosystem. A vibrant MSME system means we have a flourishing economy. Our governments at the center, under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, and state under the leadership of our Chief Minister Yediyurappa ji, have been continuously working together to improve MSMEs business environment through targeted schemes and policies. Some critical issues that we have identified for MSMEs in India include the high cost of funds leading to the credit crunch for expansion, inadequate exposure to global best practices and affordable production technologies, lack of access to skilled and trained labor workforce, lack of access to quality raw material at a reasonable price. We have tried to address each of these issues head-on by making policy changes and by introducing various independent programs and initiatives. Recently, an ordinance was signed on the Industry Facilitation Act with the introduction of affidavit-based clearance, that is ABC system. The amended act enables MSMEs to start operations without obtaining approvals from different departments like trade licenses, building plans, approvals, etc. Self-certification related provisions in the approval process for new investments have also been introduced. Because here, because so many times our Honorable Prime Minister expressed that ease of doing business we have to maintain, and it has to be executed in all the states in the administration. To support this ease of doing business, this new system, and by amending Industries Facilitation Act, it is a history in the entire nation, first of its kind in the entire nation, in Industries Facilitation Act amendment, that we have a forum that if anybody industrialist wants to start his industry and he gets approval from the state clearance committee or even district DC level clearance committee, then immediately after own declaration, affidavit-based clearance, that without without any building permission, without any trade license, without any other clearance from different departments, he can immediately start his building of the unit of the industry and even laying up the foundation, everything he can start. And we will give the time for the 3 years. Within 3 years, he has to take all the clearance from the different forums, different departments. Because this system, why we introduce, because there is a delay in getting the building plans, there is a delay in getting the land conversion, so there is a delay, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. For that purpose, unless and until he gets the NOC from the concerned departments, he cannot start the building. For that purpose, we amended the Industry Facilitation Act and given all the powers to industrialists, immediately start all the initial activities of the industry. This is one of the kinds, it is in the entire nation, it is of its own kind. And another thing, in order to promote MSMEs, Sarthak, a center of excellency and an online technology platform is being established. The platform to provide easy access to raw material suppliers, quality control and certifications, and enhance access to credit. MSMEs will be provided infrastructure support. KIADB will earmark minimum 30% of allotted land in their industrial area for MSMEs. Earlier it is 20%, 25%. Now our new industrial policy introduced that we are allocate 30% of KIADB, 30% of the lands what KIADB developed for mega industry and medium industry. Out of that, 30% will be allotted to MSME. This is very important thing, and definitely it will help for the MSMEs, because so many districts I visited, there is a demand. Last week I visited Chamarajanagar Jilla near Mysore. That Chamber of Commerce people and other industrialists were in Chamarajanagar. They told us that you have developed plots, KIADB has developed plots, bigger plots. It is not useful for our MSMEs. For that purpose, even in the KIADB lands also, you divide the plots, and smaller plots you made it. Then we agreed, and immediately I directed the KIADB officials to do all the things to give the smaller plots to the Chamarajanagar Jilla. Exceptional case it is. Like that, in all the districts, wherever the mega industries, medium industries, they established, definitely there is a need of the MSMEs, there is a need of the small plots. We are doing like that. For that purpose, we reserved 30%. Yesterday only, myself and our chairman KSIDC, Kalkap Bandi, and our MD KSIDC, our CEO KIADB, we sit together and sort out some issues in between KIADB and MSME sector. So many things we sorted out. Those are the pending last so many years we sorted out. In coming days, definitely it will help for the MSMEs. Under the program, we will be setting up online technology platform for digitally connecting MSMEs to industry experts, mentors and solution providers in the multiple areas like finance, supply chain, marketing, professional services and other stakeholders. Enhanced access to credit. The online platform will provide enhanced access to credit for MSMEs. It will integrate the convention banks, NBFCs, Mudra, etc. and non-conventional TREDS, PVCs, funds, etc. source of credit supply to MSMEs. The government will create a credit enhancement scheme on a pilot basis with an objective to address the issue of expensive loans faced by the MSME sector. Access to more extensive supply chains. The platform will provide MSMEs with access to the retail market by onboarding major brick and mortar and online marketplaces, public sector undertakings, government departments, wholesalers and retailers. This will help provide a one-stop gateway to MSMEs for discovering a market for their products, generating supply chain efficiency for the sector. Access to data. The platform will address information asymmetry by leveraging data from sources such as GST, income tax, credit bureaus, fraud registry, etc., to improve the due diligence mechanisms of the credit suppliers and support the credit agencies in processing MSME loan proposals expeditiously. Skill development programs. The platform will have a models for the dissemination of information pertaining to new age skills emerging in different domains required by MSMEs and will facilitate skill development programs. The platform will have a models for supporting MSMEs with the technologies of transfer and adoption of new and emerging technology. As part of Sarthak, we will also be setting up a center of excellency, which will research and train MSMEs in a latest cutting-edge technology, industry best practices, and technical expertise to enable our MSMEs to be globally competitive. The Center of Excellency is to adapt to the evolving nature of support required by MSMEs in the state. From back end support to improve their productivity to the front end services aimed at helping MSMEs in furthering innovation and R&D. The policy enables MSMEs to prepare itself to generate more revenue by utilizing raw materials found in the state and boosting small and local business ventures. Karnataka has always been at the forefront of an industrial movement in our country and will continue to innovate and improve the industrial sector's growth. This is very important because all the years, Karnataka is an industry-friendly state. If you see the 3-4 states of the entire nation, we are always one of the 3-4 states industry-friendly and industry developed. Our aim is, coming days, looking into all these reforms, and even we amended to the Land Reforms Act, and as per the amended Land Reforms Act, we deleted Section 79A and B. There is a restriction to purchase the agricultural land. That deletion of the Section 79A and B, it is welcomed by everybody in the Karnataka. So it is a historic thing, and even a small-scale industry people who wants to purchase 5 acres land, 10 acres land, any up to 54 acres, there is no restriction to purchase agricultural land as per the new amendment. And even there is an amendment to the Section 109 of the Land Reforms Act that creates right who wants to convert his land from agriculture to non-agriculture. If he put a application to the DC, within 30 days, DC has to clarify whether he has to give the conversion certificate approval or he has to deny it. If 30 days, if there is no response from the DC, then as per the amendment of the Section 109, it is a deemed conversion. It is a deemed conversion. This is also important amendment. We made it. So public had to take the advantage of all these things. We have relaxed all the regulations, relaxed everything, rules. So one has to, this Udyog Bharti, I request Udyog Bharti, Kashiya and FKCCI and other people are there. You please take these issues, all these issues, because on ground level, nobody knows. So many people ask me, you amended, whether how to apply, how to take it, everything is there. So awareness program that only not from the government, from all the associations. You also take it, and Kashiya and other FKCC, they are doing all these things. Udyog Bharti has to doing all these things. In the coming days, you take it aggressively, then it will help for the MSMEs and even industry people also. You please take it. In the tough COVID times, the government paid particular attention to ensure smooth functioning of our supply chains. And important thing, in the entire nation, when our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji has relaxed the COVID restrictions, and for the starting of the industry is concerned, we are the first state in the entire nation that first we allowed the industrialists to start their industries, and labor movement we started in Karnataka. No other states have started. First, we are the first in the entire nation. Government has established 4 councils under MSME Act to clear the delayed payment. They are located in Belgaum, Bengaluru, Kalaburgi and Mysore. They are located to ensure speedy clearance of payments. We would request Government of India to establish independent facilitation councils. The government works constantly with organizations like JMAE to build the MSME ecosystem and recognize the importance of social entrepreneurs to bring forth the full potential of entrepreneurship in the state. The Karnataka Startup Cell is also working towards its aim to promote Karnataka as the ultimate startup destination in the world. And another important thing, the Karnataka state has 10 clusters established under Micro Small Enterprises Cluster Development Program, namely Automobile Component Cluster. It is established in Gokul Industrial Estate at Hubli, Dharwad, and it is also already working. Food Processing Cluster at Gulbarga, Ready-Made Garment Cluster at Hubli, Raisin Cluster at Bijapur, Auto Cluster at Bidar, Raisin Cluster at Athani, Heat Treatment Cluster at Hubli, Elsa Cluster at Bengaluru, Printing Cluster at Harohalli, Auto Complex Cluster at Kanaburgi, Belgaum. Important thing, Printing Cluster at Harohalli, today morning only, myself and other industrialists went to their Harohalli, and we inaugurated that cluster in Harohalli regarding particularly printing cluster. It is a first of its kind in the entire state, and it is today it is started cluster. More than 100 people, industrialists, are there printing on the line of the printing who are participated, and almost all, only central government, union government has given 10 crores initially, and our state government given 2 crores with a contribution of 12 crores, and they also contributed 10 crores. Now they started, and 57 acres we allotted, and out of 57 acres, more than 100 people are involved in a special vehicle purpose, that association, and almost other people also, they started units. Almost more than 1,000 crores they invested in this cluster. It is today, it is started now. It is helpful for the entire state, and MSMEs also it is helpful. So, and another important thing, already I stated that Karnataka is industry friendly and progressive state. Today I got the information from a Niti Ayoga India Innovation Award, that is a ranking in 2019, that Karnataka is always, last year also we got the first in innovation sector. Today also I got the information that we are in a number 1 in the innovation sector. Today also Niti Ayoga published. So it is a positive things for us. And another important thing, as per the union government's that what is the report, entire last even in the pandemic, this corona pandemic, that I am very much afraid that whether we'll get the investment proposals or not. But luckily, in the entire nation, we got 1,54,000 something, 1,54,000 crores proposals from the state investors. That is highest in the entire nation, and it is almost 41% of the entire proposals issued in the entire nation. That is about 3,76,000 proposals, 3,76 crores proposed, issued in the entire state, entire nation, but we got 1,54,000 crores This is 41% of the entire proposals in the entire nation. This is also number one. So we are going ahead, and I request our Union State Minister of MSMEs that he is a very progressive and very simple person and high thinking person, Mr. Sarangi. I think whatever MSC required from the Union government, because during the Corona period, when Modi ji through Finance Minister Nirmala Sitaram ji declared Atmanirbhar Yojana, that will very much help the MSME sector. That is very much helped. So, like that, in Karnataka state also, we declared 3 months minimum charges of the electricity bills is concerned, charges is concerned. That is also very much helpful to the MSMEs. So, in coming days also, in coming budget also, that I request our Union Honorable Minister, please, whatever the facilitation, whatever the help to the MSMEs, you also please put forth to the Finance Ministry and Modi ji, and I hopes that you will do the justice to the MSME. Already they are doing Union government. Further also, to strengthen the MSME, please you help the MSME, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And Udyoga Bharati, this organization also, Lagu Udyog Bharati, they are doing a lot of things to develop the small scale industries, MSMEs, and I congratulate and I thanks to Udyog Bharati people also that you also proceed further, strengthen the MSME. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for the comprehensive address. We are sure that by the end of the new industrial policy tenure of 2025, Karnataka will once again regain its numero uno position as far as being the hot investment destination in India. May I now request Shri B. Srinivasa Rao, Field General Manager, Union Bank of India, to kindly address us.
Good evening. Respected Sri Pratap Chandra Sarangi sir, Honorable Minister for State, Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Ministry of Animal Husbandry, Dairy, Fisheries. Respected Sri Jagdish Shettar sir, Honorable Minister for Heavy and Medium Industries, Government of Karnataka. Respected Kalappa Gurus Shantappa Bandi, Honorable Member of Legislative Assembly, Chairman KS, SIDC, Sri Ravi Kumar, General Manager, NSIC, the members of the Lagu Udyoga Bharati and Kasiya and various members of various other organizations and representatives of the industry and media persons. Good evening once again. See, Minister sir has already told, in his address he has told only one thing. The MSMEs have several constraints. Out of all these constraints, one important constraint is availability of finance and the cost of finance. That is very, very important. For me, I feel these are all not that great constraints, but the most important constraint is the attitude of the branch manager. That is more important, because many a times I have received several complaints or several representations. Sir, you are saying all good things, but the person working in the branch, he is not responding to our calls. He is not very informed, or he is not very agile. This is one important factor which is the industry is facing in the at large. So, as in charge for the Karnataka state, for the Union Bank of India banking operations, we have been mentoring all my branch managers and field staff working at the branches to be, it's not that sympathetic, to be aligned with the requirements of the economy. See, what is need of the hour is to be with the every individual, starting from the individual to the highest organization, because we are undergoing very, very special circumstances. We need to help this, starting from the individual to the highest organization, so that the people or organizations will be sailing through this pandemic situation or difficult situations in a very, very smooth situations. As far as making available the much needed finance, see, banks, Reserve Bank of India and Government of India and various state governments, they have taken many measures to reduce the pain, financial pain, and we have been very, very important we have played our role by implementing emergency line of credit, guaranteed line of credit, subordinate debts, and various restructuring program, reassessment of working capital. And finally, we are in a phase where we are helping, or we are in the process of implementing the restructuring of loans, depending upon the cash flows and various other parameters. See, up to 10 lakh rupees, our bank has taken a policy, then the individual or MSME entrepreneur need not have to submit any financial information and all those things. It is single page information that can be done by the branches there itself. Beyond 10 lakh rupees, yes, we need some kind of cash flows and estimates and all those things. I request all my entrepreneurs to submit the information in time so that we can complete this restructuring exercise, so that you will be having some time. By this time, the economy will be reviving and rebound will happen, and you will have some time so that we can, whatever deficiency we have in terms of cash flows and all those things, it can be recuperated and we can be having a very good time. So as far as Union Bank of India is concerned, in MSME sector, Union Bank of India as a nation level, we are having the number 2 exposure in the country after State Bank of India. This is one great honor for the bank because we are partners to majority of the MSME industry. So after amalgamation of Corporation Bank and Andhra Bank, in Karnataka state, we are number 3 in terms of network. And earlier we have certain problems. Some of the branches, they were having, one of the amalgamating bank was under PCA, they could not lend. Now we don't have such kind of restrictions. So we are very, very competitive. We are in terms of interest rates, and we are very TAT bound. We have certain TAT turnaround time. So we are very TAT bound and we are very strict on TAT. Please come to us. Please avail all the benefits, both in terms of establishing new companies and running the existing companies and any kind of restructuring and all those kind of programs. So this is a great opportunity for me to interact with you, and I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir, for sharing various financial schemes of Union Bank of India to our participants. Can I request the President of FKCCI, Shri Sundar Palikal, to kindly honor him also, please.
I would also intervene a bit, sir. Sir, I know there are a lot of industry associations who have come here, but Honorable Minister is also hard-pressed for time. So therefore, I would humbly request all the industry association presidents to keep it to the minimum possible time. And I would request FKCCI, CASIA, and Pina Industries Association, who have made a request to felicitate the Honorable Minister and present a memorandum. Kindly make it as brief as possible. Just take about 1 or 2 minutes, please.
FKCCI. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure now to Pratap Chandra Sarangi ji, Honorable Minister of State for MSME, Government of India, to kindly deliver the keynote address. Before I ask him to speak, a brief profile of Sarangi ji. He's an unlikely politician, a bachelor who lives in a thatched house and leads a simple life. The 65-year-old minister represents Balasore and is the Minister of State for MSME in the Modi government. a national executive member of BJP, Sarangiji was elected to Orissa Assembly twice in 2004 and 2009 from Nilagiri constituency in Balasore district. He had also contested the 2014 Lok Sabha elections from Balasore constituency, but faced defeat. Sri Sarangiji's association with active politics and electoral victories has not affected his lifestyle as he continues to live a simple life. Why we say this to this humble politician is that, surprisingly, whenever he tours his constituency, he goes on his bicycle to most of the places. He has dedicated his life to social work and upliftment of the poor. May I invite Sri Pratap Chandra Sarangiji to kindly deliver his keynote address, please.
भारत माता की Respected Sri P.S. Srikant Datta, President Lagu Udyog Bharati Karnataka, respected Honorable Sri Jagdish Sattar, Honorable Minister for Heavy and Medium Industries, Government of Karnataka, Sri Girish Gumaste, EC Member Lagu Udyog Bharati Karnataka, Sri Kalakappa Guru Shantappa Bandi, Honorable Member of Legislative Assembly, Chairman KSS IDC, Sri Nivas Rao, GM UBI, Ravi Kumar, NSIC CGM, Sri Ram Prasanna, IAS, MD KSS IDC, and all the industry association members, members of Lagu Udyog Bharati and other organizations, entrepreneurs, media persons who are present here. I congratulate you all, and especially I offer my heartfelt thanks to Lagu Udyog Bharati for having given me this opportunity to exchange my ideas with you. This theme is very interesting and a very big one. The subject is very vast, but my knowledge in the subject is very limited, and the time is also very limited. So I am afraid I may not do justice to the topic. I am not here to inspire you, but I have been particularly inspired seeing you. You are doing all miraculous things. Bangalore is a very progressive city, and there is a very eco-friendly atmosphere for the growth of industries. I especially offer my thanks to the Minister, Sri Jagdish Sattarji, and your Honorable Chief Minister, because they have launched the new industrial policy, and which is very dynamic. I was asking, what is special in this policy? He told that Bangalore is in the position of explosion. It is saturated. So we want a decentralization. For that, we have a space in the policy. And it is necessary also, because if we will see a filaria patient in the train, nobody will go and say, oh, how fat, how healthy your leg is. You will consider it as a disease. And you may exercise mercy on him by giving him 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 100 rupees. That's not the sign of health. What is health? Swami Vivekananda said, the first visible sign of life is growth. But if we think deeply, all growth is not a sign of life. Suppose there is a girl having a long nose. You cannot say she is healthy. Health means balanced growth, harmonious growth of the entire body. So harmonious growth is essential. Mahatma Gandhi was saying, not mass production, but production by mass is the solution to our economic problems. If somebody will reach, so rich that he offers a flight to our wife in the marriage anniversary, costing 27,000 crores of rupees, and another person cannot afford for the study of his son in a government medical college, however small the amount may be. We cannot make everybody equal, but equal opportunities should be given to all. It is the law of nature that everybody will grow according to their own capacity, own circumstances. There will be high and low, no doubt. But equal opportunity, equal chances should be given to all. That is the spirit of democracy. Now, MSME is the largest sector of employment generation after agriculture. Before Corona, about 11 crore people, more than 11 crore people were engaged in this sector. More than 6 crore enterprises were known to be in the MSME sector. More than 30% contribution of MSME is to the GDP, and more than 48% we contribute to our exports. But still, the registered units are very less than the actual figure. Why don't they register themselves? They want to get tax exemption, and many people do not know their responsibilities and duties. Because we were a nation which was under foreign rule, starting from Greek to British, in between many people, many foreign rulers, for nearly 1,500 years. And this defeatist tendency is within us. We became free. We are an independent nation that we have not mostly realized. That's why the basic criteria which comes with a free nation, the citizens of a free nation, is not available in many of us. What is that? A sense of pride, a self-esteem that I am a proud citizen of a free nation has not come within us. That's why you find even High Court Justice moving in a train without ticket and being cut by the TT and losing his job. Parliamentarians asking questions as brokers for companies, and they have lost their seat also, and thereby bringing ill reputation to the country. Doctors asking bribe in the operation table. Cricketers engaged in match fixing. Cinema stars who attract many people's love and respect were found to be engaged in purchasing AK-47 from terrorists. So why all these things happen? Because we don't have that responsibility of a free nation. Responsibility is what? There is no dearth of rich people, no dearth of wise people, strong people, but there is seriously lack of responsible citizens in the country. What is the responsibility? Ability to respond. We don't have that responsibility. That's why, I'm sorry, there may be a few exceptions. I know there are good people in every sector. But in general, I was asking to the Laghu Udyog Bharati president, and I have seen this, I have experienced throughout the country. Banks are not very much cooperative. Although during this period, due to regular review in the center and states by the Prime Minister, by the Honorable Finance Minister, by the MSM Minister, some change has been noticed. But even now, banks are not very much cooperative to the small, to the micro units. If Nirav Modi and Vijay Mallya comes, one phone will be sufficient. They can loot the nation and run away. No problem. But if a person with a loan request of 2 lakh rupees will come to start a small unit, he is to be harassed. I cannot generalize, but in most of the cases, this is the fact. Once the Chief Minister of Assam has narrated before me when I visited Assam about his miserable plight. The State Bank of India gave a proposal. They framed the entire system, and according to their advice, they deposited nearly 300 crores. A 1 lakh business package in which 20,000 will be given by the entrepreneur, 25,000 by the state, and 45, 20%, 25%, 45%, 1 lakh rupees total project cost. But the bank did not listen. He was very much harassed. If this is the condition of a chief minister, what would be the condition of normal entrepreneurs, the poor entrepreneurs? Unless the poor village artisans, the entrepreneurs come up, only big industries cannot solve the problem. You may have huge production, but what is the purchasing power of the common man? Unless he earns, how can it be? Once one prawn processing unit requested me to make such an arrangement because due to the pandemic, their export chain has been finished. So they wanted to sell in Indian market. So government should pass an order or a regulatory or an advisory so that people can purchase prawn and they will run their business very smoothly. I told, yes, we can do that. But I would advise you, if you want that our poor people should purchase prawn, then you should make it available to be sold at 50 rupees a kg. Or you should give your employees, your laborers, at least 1,000 rupees a day, so that they can purchase at 800 rupees. Why should the government interfere in this? Because we have not been able to think in a very comprehensive manner. We think only for ourselves. As a proud citizen of a free nation, we should think about the whole of the nation. Otherwise, we cannot contribute sufficiently for the growth of the nation. Our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi is such an able champion that he could inspire the youth, he could infuse the spirit of optimism. Even during this fantastic period of frustration, by giving a clarion call of Atmanirbhar Bharat, and he also prescribed the methodology for that. Vocal for local product with global outreach. Before Corona, we were not producing a single PP kit. Now we are producing more than 5 lakhs a day by MSME and textile ministries, and we are exporting. Entire import from China and other countries have been stopped. We took it as a resolve. Where there is will, there is a way. We are not producing these bamboo sticks for the incense. 78% we are importing from China and 21% from Vietnam. Now we decided it is to be stopped. It is stopped. Duty is raised up to 25% and we produce ourselves. I was sitting in a review meeting. Our Honorable Nitin Gadkarji was also there. Officers were there. Some were asking that our bamboo stick is square size, but China bamboo stick was round size. Whether the machine will take it or not, we are producing it newly. I told that what fantastic you are saying science is in which level this round and square is a problem for us. This cannot be a problem for us. Because many people have serious interest for their own selfish interest to import things from outside. We should develop such an attitude, come what may. We should not purchase a chocolate of foreign origin. Government may prefer or may not prefer, government may not take the risk of a trade war, but if the people will reject, then nobody can force us. For that, another thing is very important. Suppose you prepared an aeroplane. All the components were brought from foreign countries and you just assembled. And the assembler will claim that it is made in India. This makes no sense. Every part of the product should be of Indian origin. So a country of origin should be written on every part, and we have done that. You have to do that. This set of patriotic urge is necessary. Before independence, when Swadeshi movement was at the highest, even very aristocratic people who are purchasing their dresses from foreign countries, from Paris, London, America. Out of this patriotic feeling, they burnt all these things and purchased only khadi dresses. Taking a simple fabric, Gandhiji prepared it as a Brahmastra in the freedom movement. This became a national pride for us. Now, if all will purchase this khadi, it will provide employment to 10 crore or 15 crore people in our country. If you purchase one synthetic garment, it means a very unhealthy dress, dangerous for the skin and the ecology and the environment, and only the wholesaler and retailer will be benefited out of it. Money will be drained to a foreign country, American synthetics or Korea gabardine. But if you purchase a khadi dress, the farmer who is engaged in cotton farming, the person who separates the seeds, the person who is engaged in slaver plant, who is preparing the dhaga, who is in the textile mill, all are, who is running the charkha, all are benefited besides wholesaler and the retailer. And the common man, the purchaser, is also benefited because this is very skin friendly, eco friendly, and consumes very less water. And so it will give engagement, it will give employment to our rural artisans. By becoming a purchaser, you can also serve the nation in a very better way. Vocal for local product will capture our Indian domestic market first, then we'll also explore foreign markets. Now, international trade fair exhibitions being stopped. E-market access is the better option, and for that, government has developed many portals. Private agencies also developing many portals. We should take the help of this technology, and we should connect our rural artisans so that they are not exploited by the intermediary persons, by the brokers. Once I met a lady, she came to me in the flight and told me, discussed with me for long 2 hours, and she told me that her husband is engaged in IT business in America and she is engaged in textile business. She told in her life she got a highest price by selling a sari, a cotton sari from some rural area produced by our rural artisans in Odisha, and she sold it at 4,50,000 rupees. I thanked her, but I asked her, what is the percentage you have given to the artisan? She smiled. I told that unless you give 70% to the person who prepared it, because it is a handmade one, it takes for months to be prepared. The value cannot be counted. I have seen in our Sambalpur and other places, they prepare Pato sari, Sambalpuri sari, Maniyavandi sari, which takes more than a month or 2 months. So unless you give a lion's share, this will be injustice, this will be exploitation. And she responded saying that I will take care of it in future, sir. In this engine of growth, every component is important. To start one industry, you need land, you need labor, you need money, you need technology, you need finance, and you need market, and also managerial expertise. So for that, you need proper training. Land, labor, finance, marketing, management, and proper training. This set of ecosystem should be developed by government and private agencies. Proper convergence, coordination, cooperation is quite essential. In our Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Parasparang bhavyanta sreyah paramavapsata. Everyone thinking about the good of others. That is an ideal society. Mahatma Gandhi, after going through the book of John Ruskin, the book is Unto the Last, has a transformation of his ideas, and he narrated his ideas in a book named Sarvodaya. Sarvodaya Vichara inspired Gandhiji. The same thing Pandit Deendayal Upadhyay described as Antyodaya. His integral humanism is based on this principle of Antyodaya. The last man should be improved so that others will be improved. And the same thing in a political language, Narendra Modi ji told, saying, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas. In our Shastra it is said, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Shantu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pasyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhagavad. If you start an industry with a motive that you will earn more, you will deposit it in Indian and foreign banks, you will purchase lands, buildings, everything else, real estates, and so on. This is an unending principle. There is no limit to it. But if you think that you will earn more for what? For my national growth, harmonious growth of my nation. My contribution to the GDP will be more. My nation will run to be the biggest economic power in the world. And the great dream of our Narendra Modi ji, Honorable Prime Minister, of taking the nation to a $5 trillion economy by 2024 will be realized, and I will be a very significant person in this national dream. That will be the same thing, the same earning, but this will be a different attitude, and attitude makes a difference in the result also. Suppose a national flag is being hoisted. The next day, a person having no patriotism will use it as a pillow cover because he thinks it as a piece of cloth. But a person with a patriotic feeling will worship it. He will see this is the biggest speaker of our history, our national glory. Our fighting with the foreign oppressors, our Balidan, everything is there. This is a condensed history of Mother India. So he will worship it. This is the feeling. This makes the difference. If you will steal and is detected, then you will be inside the jail. You will lose your prestige. If you kill me, now if you will shoot at me, you will be arrested immediately, you may be hanged, you may be given life imprisonment. But if you kill 10,000 people in the war, you will be regarded as a Paramabhira Chakra will be given to you. You will be regarded as a national hero. This motive power makes the difference. So what is the motive power of our starting industry is more important. That makes the entire things in a different manner. So we should develop this sort of motive power. I know one industrialist, I have never seen him. I have studied the books, that he never pays a single rupee to the income tax persons or to any other government agencies which are engaged in these things. He never pays a single bribe. He never have any extra hour working. Only 8 hours. And when there was a question of forming a union, he asked all the laborers, all the workers, all the officers, and sit with them and told, all right, I am ready, you form a union and make me just a simple member in your union. Because we all belong to our family, one family. And I have already shown you my balance sheet. What is the profit, everything else, because you are a part and parcel of this organization. So make him a member. Then everybody felt ashamed of it. They will know, sir, they begged excuse, we need no union. You are our father. This sort of congenial atmosphere in the industry will encourage the workers, a family atmosphere, and it will increase their work efficiency. It will also increase in the production. Because everybody is happy. You have to see that the standard of the living of your workers is also improved by that. Land, labor, intelligence, money, everything is important. Everything is inevitable in a process of production. Our government in this corona pandemic period gave a boost when the Atmanirbhar package was declared. 3 lakh crore collateral free automatic loan. Up to 20% of the outstanding loan was announced for standard units. And for stressed units, those even declared NPA. Earlier they had no other way just to wait for the banks to come and croak them, to auction their property. Now, they have also given a chance to reorganize, to restructure their units with 20,000 crores of subordinate debt funds. And another for those healthy units with good track record, but due to corona, their supply chain was disturbed, their production stopped, market stopped. So, for them also, government declared a 50,000 crore of fund of funds with 10,000 crore Government of India's Corpus Fund and 40,000 crore through market through equity infusion is to be arranged, so that there will be 50,000 crore fund size. Besides that, 12 MSMEs. Earlier there was a bureaucratic network so that all the tenders will be taken by foreign entrepreneurs. Now, foreign entrepreneurs are completely prohibited to participate in Government of India tenders up to 2,000 crores, 200 crores, so that only Indian companies, Indian MSMEs will be benefited out of it. There are many other packages to just enhance, to boost our MSMEs. Our Madhu Babu in Odisha was saying, he is the father of modern industries in Odisha. He was saying, cultured hand is industry. What is cultured hand? If you crush a piece of stone, it will give you 500 rupees worth chips. But if you carve an image of Buddha, Ganesh, Kali, Durga on the same stone, it will be 50,000 rupees or 55,000 rupees. This is value addition, this is industry. Our rural people, they sell raw mango at 5 rupees a kg. But if it is mad pickle, it costs 250 rupees a kg. Potato they sell 5 rupees a kg and purchases during the time of necessity at 50 rupees a kg. They don't have any cold storage. If there will be cold storage, they can sell at a better price. If they can be trained, they can be provided with assistance, then they can prepare aloo chips which they purchase at 500 rupees a kg. So money flows from village to town because big industries sell and they purchase. If such an ecosystem will be prepared so that our village people will purchase achar, jelly, juice, jam, badi, pampad, aloo chips, handmade paper, chucks, everything else, so soap, so that money will come to village from urban areas. Our poor people also sell their landed property and purchase almirah, upgraders, sofa set, to be used in their marriage ceremony of their daughters. But if they will prepare beautiful sofa sets, almirahs, doors, out of the bamboos, out of the woods available in the village, and these beautiful things will be purchased by our Sahari Babus, then money will come from urban areas to the village, then village will be developed. Now there is a trend from urban to rural areas due to this pandemic. But unless there is a employment opportunity, this will be counterproductive. So you shall have to think of rural industries, development of rural industries. There are many natural resources available in the rural areas. Suppose we can prepare cow feed out of the natural resources available in the rural areas. Makkah is available in rural areas. Moringa is available in rural areas. So these things we can utilize and we can prepare beautiful feed for the cows. Wheat is available, so we can use it. So small units can be developed. We can have organic farming, and for that, cow is the best agency. Cowism, like capitalism, communism, we should develop a cowism. I have seen many goshalas. Recently, I have visited this Developar. They are preparing organic khads, organic pesticides, out of cow urine and neem patta and like that. And this can be prepared by every people in their home. No technology is needed. Kenchua khad, amrit pani, these are very nutritious for our plants. There is a biodynamic system in which out of the 2 horns we can produce rich manure per 1 acre of landed property. No other khad, no other pesticide is necessary. This can be done. Besides that, many medicines, phenyls are prepared of, cosmetics are prepared out of dantamanjan, sabun, many things are prepared out of that. Cow ghee, cow butter, cow urine, cow dung. This can be a beautiful gramodyoga, a very magnificent gramodyoga throughout the country, and new entrepreneurs should come out. Also, cluster approach will be very, very